Good morning. Today we're going to keep reading the Little Prince in the English version. This is my own Little Prince, my friend. And also today, as we read the Little Prince, I want you to now ask you some questions, and I need you to please pay attention on how the Little Prince give us a lot of information about the International Baccalaureate OIB learner profile. I want you to concentrate specifically in two of them. One, I'm being reflective. It means I think about my own work. I know when I done well and when I could have done better. Definitely about caring. I care about people, plants, animals, and the earth. I help others and I look other after the environment. And one that is very, very important in this book, and you see it all over the chapters that we read, is reflective. And think about my own work. I know when I don't well, or no, well, we did that one. Okay, so those two, remember we had like 10 learner profile, but I want you to concentrate on those two and pay specific attention on how the main character of the book, in this case the Little Prince, put in practice and all that. And not only that, the most important part is how can you put it in practice? How can you be more reflective of your work or reflective of your actions? How can you be open-minded on everything that you do? How can you be a better communicator when you talk to your parents, your brother, your friends, people in your family? What we're doing right now are virtual learning with your teachers and all that. All this is an everyday thing, and we need to be conscious that when we how can we do better, and by putting all these profiles in practice, it become natural, and when it become natural, it makes it better of you. Okay, so when we read chapter 16, I'm sorry, 15. The sixth planet was 10 times bigger than the last. It was inhabited by an old gentleman who wrote enormous books. Ah, here comes an explorer, he exclaimed when he caught sight of the little prince, who was feeling a little winded and sat down on the desk. He had already traveled so much and so far. Where do you come from? The old gentleman asked him. What's that big book? Asked the little prince. What do you do with it? I'm a geographer, the old gentleman answered. And what's a geographer? A scholar who knows where the seas are, and the rivers, and the cities, the mountains, and the deserts. A scholar who knows where the seas are. I mean, that's very interesting, the little prince said. Here at last is someone who has a real profession. And he gazed around him on the geographer's planet. He had never seen a planet so majestic. Your planet is very beautiful, he said. Does it have any oceans? I can't say, said the geographer. The geographer. Oh, the little prince was disappointed. And mountains? I couldn't say, said the geographer. And cities and rivers and deserts? I can't tell you that either, the geographer said. But you're a geographer. That's right, said the geographer. But I'm not explorer. There's no one explorer. There's no one explorer on my planet. A geographer doesn't go out to describe cities, rivers, mountains, seas, oceans, and deserts. A geographer is too important to go wandering about. He never leaves his study, but he receives the explorers there. He questions them and writes down what they remember. And if the memories of one of the explorers seem interesting to him, then the geographer conducts an inquiry into that explorer's moral character. Why is that? Because an explorer who told lies will cause disasters in the geography books, as will an explorer who drank too much. What is Because drunkards see double, and the geographer will write down two mountains where there was only one. I know someone, said the little priest, who will be a bad explorer. Possibly. Well, when the explorer moral character seems to be a good one, an investigation is made into his discovery by going to see it. No, that would be too complicated. But the explorer is required to furnish proof. For instance, if he claims to have discovered a large mountain, he is required to bring back large stones from it. The geographer suddenly grew excited. But you came from far, far away. You are an explorer. You must describe your planet for me. And the geographer, having opened his logbook, sharpened his pencil, Explorer reports are first recorded in pencil. Ink is used only after proof has been furnished. Well, said the geographer expectantly. Oh, where I live, said the little prince, is not very interesting. It is so small. I have three volcanoes, two active and one extinct, but you never know. You never know, said the geographer. I also have a flower. We don't record flowers, the geographers say. Why not? Is it the pretty things? Because flowers are ephemeral. What does ephemeral mean? Geography, said the geographer, are the finest books of all. They never go out of fashion. It is extremely rare for a mountain to change position. It is extremely rare for an ocean to be drained of its water. We write eternal things. But extinct volcanoes can come back to life, the little prince interrupted. What does ephemeral mean? Whether volcanoes are extinct or active come down to the same things for us, said the geographer. For us, what counts is the mountain. That doesn't change. But what does ephemeral mean? Repeated the little prince, who had never in all his life let go of a question once he had asked it. It means which is threatened by imminent disappearance. Is my flower threatened by imminent disappearance? Of course. My flower is ephemeral, little prince said to himself, and he has only four thorns which to defend herself against the war, and I have left her all alone where I live. That was his first impulse of regret, but he plucked up his courage again. What would you advise me to visit? He asked. The planet Earth, the geographer answered. It has a good reputation, and the little prince went on his way thinking about his flower. Now, look, I can see a clear reflective profile in the little prince thinking about his flower, what happened, did he left the flower, etc., trying to somehow understand the word ephemeral and apply it into his knowledge with the flower, etc. Also, of course, caring character because he cares so much about his flower and about his planet. Inquire definitely because he's learning so much and asks so many questions about what he's learning with all the characters that he sees through the books in the different planets. See how all this thing applies into a book as a little prince? Again, I want you to apply all these profiles in your learning profile on your daily life. Let's go on chapter 16. The seventh planet, then, was the Earth. The Earth is not just another planet. It contains 111 kings, including, of course, the African kings, 7,000 geographers, 900,000 businessmen, 7.5 million drunkards, 311 million vain men, and in other words, about 2 million grown-ups. To give you a notion of the Earth dimension, I can tell you that before the invention of electricity, it was necessary to maintain over the whole of 6 continents a veritable army of 462,511 lamplighters. Seen from some distance, this made a splendid effect. The movement of this army were ordered like those of ballet. First came the turn of the lamplighters of New Zealand and Australia. Then these, having lit their street lamps, will go home to sleep. Next, it will be the turn of the lamplighters of China and Siberia to perform their step in the lamplighters ballet, and then they too will vanish into the winds. Then came the turn of the lamplighters of Russia and India, then those of Africa and Europe, then those of South America and North America, and they never missed their cue for their appearance on stage. It was awe-inspiring. Only the lamplighter of the single street lamp at the North Pole and his college of the single street lamp at the South Pole lived carefree, idle lives. They worked twice a year. See, how can you? Let's see who can answer this question. How can you associate what the Little Prince calls a perfect ballet movement with the movement of the Earth? Why is that? He says starting in New Zealand, and then from New Zealand goes to China, then Russia, then Europe, and then at the end they end up with America. Why is that? Inquire. See how is that similar to what's going on Earth? How is that explanation of the Little Prince explained in scientific terms? Question for you guys. Chapter 17. Trying to be witty leads to lying more or less. What I just told you about the lamplighter isn't completely true, and I risk giving a false idea of our planet to those who don't know it. Men occupy very little space on Earth. If the 2 billion inhabitants of the globe were to stand close together, as they might for some big public event, they would easily fit into a city block that was 20 miles long and 20 miles wide. You could crowd all humanity onto the smallest Pacific island. Grown ups, of course, won't believe you. They are convinced they take up much more room. They consider themselves as important as the baobabs. So you should advise them to make their own calculations. They love numbers and they will enjoy it. But don't waste your time on this extra task, it is unnecessary. Trust me. So when he reached Earth, the little prince was quite surprised not to see anyone. He was beginning to fear he had come to the wrong planet when a moon colored looked uncoiled on the sand. Good evening, the little prince said, just in case. Good evening, said the snake. What planet I have landed on? Asked the little prince. On the planet Earth, in Africa, the snake replied. Oh, and there's no people on Earth? It's the desert here. There are no people in the desert. Earth is very big, said the snake. The little prince sat down on a rock and looked up into the sky. I wonder, he says, if the stars are lit up so that each of us can find his own someday. Look at my planet. It is just overhead, but so far away. It is lovely, the snake said. What have you come to Earth for? I'm having difficulties with the flower, the little prince said. Oh, said the snake, and they were both silent. See, this is when they first landed on Earth. He seen about it because he was on the desert. What are the people? The little prince finally resumed the conversation. It's a little lonely in the desert. It is also lonely with people, said the snake. The little prince looked at the snake for a long time. You are a funny creature, he said at last, not thicker than a finger. But I'm more powerful than a king's finger, the snake said. The little prince smiled. You are not very powerful. You don't even have feet. You couldn't travel very far. I can't take you further than the cheek, the snake said. He curled around the little prince's ankle like a golden bracelet. Anyone I touch, I send back to the land from which he came, the snake went on. But you are innocent, and you come from a star. The little prince made no reply. I feel sorry for you, being so weak on this granite earth, said the snake. I can help you someday if you grow too homesick for your planet. I can. Oh, I understand just what you mean, said the little prince. But why do you always speak in riddles? I saw them all, said the snake, and they were both silent. See, again, the little prince being an inquirer on his own, asking so many questions and learning from it, at the same time talking to the snake in this case kindly, so he's being kind. And being a risk taker, definitely, because he's flying from planet to planet, asking all these many questions, and he's following other people's directions. He's taking the risk to come to Earth without even know what the Earth looks like. And once he's here, inquires so much about what's going on Earth. What are the people? Why is that many people in here? Why is a snake in such a strange creature? What is she trying to say? So that's what I'm talking about. Again, this is my challenge and this is my question. Think about when you are any of these profiles, communicator, when you need to be reflective, when you need to be caring, when you need to be an inquirer, when you need to be open-minded, well-balanced, thinking, all of that, and apply all that knowledge in every single situation. Sometimes we do it without even knowing it, which is the good part. We don't need to okay, today I'm going to be open-minded. No, you open-minded because you understand other people's ideas and you explain your own ideas and so on. But think about it anyway, right? Again, it's not like you try to act or be a specific character. Think about how your daily life, common daily life that you do every single day, match any of these profiles, and you'll be surprised how many they are. Hey guys, good to see you through my computer. I hope I see you soon in person. In the meantime, take care of yourself, follow the rules, listen to your parents, and above all, stay healthy. We're all together on this. Big help for you guys.